So anyway, they come round, basically said, have you got a firearms license? I said, no. And then they arrested me. I mean, it was kind of weird.
They arrested you?
Oh, yeah, got arrested. And I got... So...
Welcome, MythFits.
Hey there, all you MythFits. It's Kari, Byron.
And Tori Belleci. Welcome back to another episode.
I love this podcast. We just talk to people who we find interesting, and it's just a way kind of like to connect with old friends. I mean, all of our guests so far have been so freaking cool, but who you've chosen today, I was not actually aware of.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Just in case you guys, I mean, if you're a fan of MythBusters and you're listening to this podcast, you're probably a fan of this guy's YouTube channel. He has like over 13 million subscribers. His name is Colin Furze, and he is just this like energetic, hilarious builder who makes the craziest stuff. If you haven't checked out his channel, you have to go look at some of the things that he's done.
So I was cruising YouTube to research this guy because like I was unfamiliar with him until you mentioned it, and one of the things that drives me insanely crazy when I'm watching YouTube is like how many commercials you have to like wait and skip through. So clearly he's popular because there was a bunch of commercials, and it made me think.
You don't get
like,
Premiere?
What?
You don't have Premiere YouTube, Kari?
I
Come on.
I obviously need.
You like ads? Do you want to get rid of ads?
I know. And it made me realize how many commercials we have on our podcast as well. And I want to apologize for that, but not really, because that's how we get paid. But also, if you guys hate ads, I'm clearly going to go get Premiere or subscribe to his channel. But we also have a ad-free subscription. It's pretty cheap. It's cheaper than like, I think if you had like 5 subscriptions, it would equal 1 Starbucks coffee. So
nice transition, Kari.
You like that?
I do. I was like, where's she going with this? Oh, wow.
No, I was seriously thinking of that this morning. I was just like, why would anybody not just subscribe and skip all the ads? This is really annoying. Anyway, so this Colin guy, you knew him a long time ago.
Well, so I met him back in like 2014 or 15. It was right after we were done with MythBusters, and remember we got like we negotiated with Science Channel to come up with a development deal. So they're like, okay, we're gonna pay you this amount of money, and then we're gonna keep you. We're gonna try to figure out a show or a new project for you guys for the next 6 months. And so Debbie Myers, she was the head of Science Channel at the
Love
time,
that lady.
who was awesome. Like she was like the first executive that made us feel like, oh my God. Wait, we're somebody? Like, I always felt like, Jamie and Adam were like the stars, and we were kind of just like the crew.
But she's like, no, I want to develop stuff around you. And it was like a retainer. It was like, so development deal is like, we're not allowed to go make shows or pitch shows for other networks. So for 6 months, like they would just listen to our ideas and we would go to them with our ideas. And you and I were like, sweet, like it feels like free money. And like, what?
Yeah.
And Grant's like, nope, I'm out.
I know. I don't know why Grant didn't do it. Like it was such a great opportunity, because it was like, okay, so for the next 6 months, you're going to pitch me ideas, or I'm going to pitch you ideas, and we're going to try to figure out a new show for us.
I think it's because everybody kept telling us like, oh, when MythBusters is over, you could just like, you could cross the street over to any other network and get a show like that. And like, we're like, oh, what? And Grant's like, I'm going to go get another show. Like, I'm not sticking around here. And then when we did Punkin' Chunkin', they didn't call Grant. They just called you and me. And Grant was like, what? What the hell?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm like, I'm sorry.
That's right. Because we went and did like a one-off Punkin' Chunkin'. We didn't actually go to the chunk, but we went out to that guy's house, and he was like flinging cars he had a giant trebuchet in his backyard, and he would just fling cars across his backyard. It was insane.
So so you met Colin because they were thinking of doing a show with him.
He is, I mean, the guy is hilarious. So how it worked was, I got a call from Debbie, and she was like, look, there's this YouTuber over in England, and we want to send you over there to do a chemistry reel. So basically, it's just putting us together in the same room, filming some stuff to see if we get along, right? And so I flew out to England, and he lives outside of.
Dude, wait! They flew you all the way out to England for this?
Yes.
What?
And you know what? They flew me upper class. I didn't even know this was.
Well, wait a minute. No, our entire time on MythBusters, like we took the bus, like we got in minivans. We never got to fly upper class.
Well, they never flew us first class. Like, remember whenever we would fly to like New Mexico or anywhere that we couldn't, it took too long to drive, they would fly us coach. I mean, it was like,
I mean, whatever.
We were fancy. So this was the first time where you walk in and then there's a set of stairs that go up like to the left, and you're like, no, you're not going over this way. You go upstairs. And it was just like, what?
You're so excited. You're like getting the champagne. You're like, I'll take all of the warm nuts.
Oh my God. Whoa.
You were a 12-year-old boy.
You'll take all the warm nuts. I didn't say that. You just said that. I didn't.
Yeah, but I didn't mean it the way that you took it. You're just such a...
So anyway, so they, you go up to the next level. They got the lay down beds. I mean, it was just like, oh my gosh.
I finally made
I wish
it.
I didn't know. I wish I didn't know that existed. There was like a full bar upstairs. You could just go walk back anytime. It was awesome. Anyway.
There's a bar?
Yeah, upstairs. Full bar.
How big is this plane?
It's insane. It's like a 747 or maybe bigger.
All right. Okay, so you're flying high because you're in this development deal. You think that you're going out to meet this guy. It's going to be your next MythBusters. Like,
I didn't know what to expect because it's like when you're meeting somebody for the first time, you just don't know how you're going to get along. But the whole idea was we want to put you, we want you to be well rested because as soon as you land the next day, we're going to start filming. So I meet up with a producer, Gareth. He actually helped. He was a producer on The Great Escapist. So it was weird. I met him way back then. It was called October Films, I think was the name of the production company. And so he picked me up and we went out to Colin's house, and he's got like this tiny little shop, and he just builds the most insane stuff out of it. And so we just, messed around all day, and they filmed it, and then they cut together a reel. But
so this is what they call in the business a chemistry reel, right? Like,
yeah,
just trying to see if you guys get along and like if it's a good match.
And it was great. I mean, we had a great time. I went and got fish and chips. I mean, it was awesome. But
how English of you?
It was not very British, but they never picked it up.
Why?
And he's probably happy because he's probably making way more money on YouTube than he would have been on a science channel.
Well, quite honestly, at that point in time, that's when like YouTube was just starting to pick up, and anybody who was well established at that point, it was like, I think Mr. Beast and all those people were like young and just like building and building. And it really was a turning point. Television was really kind of in its last breath, like the death rattle. And YouTube was starting to really take root. So, I mean, he definitely took the right road. But man, that would have been fun to watch. Okay, so you're in England. What is on this chemistry reel? Like, what are they having you guys do?
We did. He built these, like those carts that if you go to a grocery store, there's those carts you can sit in and drive around and shop. So he took one of those and put like an engine, like a lawnmower engine on it. So this thing would go, I don't know, like 35, 40 miles an hour. You would just haul ass down these roads. So they were like, all right, here, Tori, this is, Colin built this. You take it for a ride. Don't hurt yourself. I
see the dynamic here. I see this.
Yeah. No, we got along really well. He also had a pulse engine bike. Ooh. That was insane. You would start it up and it would get up to, I forget how fast we went, but we went down like this dirt road. I mean, it was pretty fast.
Oh yeah. I went through some of his videos this morning, and I was looking at like, he did a lot of early Mythbustery things. Like he did like 360 swing set and like a bat that was like this crazy. I can't wait to ask him about some of his projects because they so align with the things that we were trying to do on our show, like from White Rabbit to MythBusters. I think he's one of our people.
Totally. And the things he can build out of this shop, this tiny little shop, it's mind blowing. Like, we had a big crew and a big shop. This guy works out of his garage. It's like this little car shed that he builds everything. And he's incredible.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to meet him. You guys out there, MythFits audience, I think this is exactly the kind of person you're asking us to interview. So please keep sending all of the suggestions because this is so much fun. Starting something new is always a little bit scary. I'm so glad we decided to do this podcast. But I remember when we started, it was hard. Like I didn't know where to start. That's why I'm really glad that we have a partner on our side like Shopify.
I know what you mean, Kari, and it's good to have a partner like Shopify. They power 10% of all U.S. e-commerce, from household names like Allbirds and Gymshark to brands just getting started.
They have hundreds of ready-to-use templates, plus AI tools for product descriptions, page headlines, and product photography.
And it's everything in one place. Inventory, payments, analytics, shipping, returns, no juggling platform.
And they have award-winning 24/7 customer support for whenever you get stuck.
All right, so it's time. It's time to turn those what ifs into cha-ching with Shopify today.
Sign up for your $1 a month trial today at shopify.com/mythfits. Go to shopify.com/mythfits. That's shopify.com/mythfits.
MythFits, welcome back. As promised, we have Colin Furze on the show. He has one of the craziest YouTube channels, and this guy is just an all-around great guy. Colin, thank you so much for coming on.
That's all right, guys. It's a pleasure.
It's nice to meet you. I heard you and Tori were maybe going to do a show together a million years ago.
Yeah, we got drafted in to do a pilot, didn't we? So Tori's actually been here, although when you were here, there was no underground stuff. I don't know if I think the bunker existed.
No, you didn't even have you hadn't had the bunker yet. All you had was your little shop, your little shed, and that's all you would build everything out of.
That's still there. It's still where it all happens. It's kind of weird, really. I sometimes think, like, is that good or not? But I like the fact that it's kind of never progressed too much in that sense, if you know what I mean. I mean, I have got a second workshop now, which is for the bigger stuff, but I still do most of the things here. Just because I think it's more relatable working out of a tiny workshop that, that most people can look at and go, I could have that. So that's why.
So how long have you been doing that? How long have you been doing a YouTube channel out of your little workshop?
So my YouTube channel actually turns 20 this year.
Wow.
In November.
Congratulations.
Which is pretty crazy. It wasn't till 2009 that it actually came to this house where I live, because I used to live with my mum when I first started it. So some of it was done out of her shed. So there was a couple of years where it was bits done in there. But when I first started, like, there wasn't a massive amount of making. It was just like weird, like stupid ideas sort of thing. Like one of the first brilliant videos I think I ever did was this, trying to serve food to people while they were still in their cars, because I was coming home from somewhere one day really hungry. I saw like this burger truck driving down the road, and I was like, if he was in there now serving, I could just reach out, I'd have one of them. And I thought, that's a brilliant idea for a video. So we ended up doing that. But the first like project that was actually done for YouTube where we made something was the Wall of Death. And that was, I started the channel in November, and then we started that in the January. So I got straight into building stuff pretty quickly, basically. But there was quite a few videos which were just a little bit like pranky in between. So, but yeah.
Wall of Death. Can you explain the Wall of Death?
So the Wall of Death, I chuck out these statements just presuming people will know what they are.
Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right?
You might have them at carnivals or something. It's basically like a big drum that you ride a bike round on the inside, and if you ride fast enough, you can stick to the side, and then you can ride up and down it. Although you don't have to actually ride that fast. Like 19, 20 miles an hour is more than enough. You can even get away with going a little bit slower than that. So essentially we made one out of a load of pallets or crates. I don't know. In the States, do you have like, the big wooden stuff? Yeah, pallets. It must be called pallets out there.
Yeah.
So we just made it out of a load of junk pallets, load of plywood that had been ripped out of this warehouse because they'd changed all their shelving and stuff. So it was built for practically nothing. I mean, it was a bit janky. There was like nails sticking out. It wasn't smooth. It was pretty rough, but it worked, and rode it on a little moped or scooter that you'd like a pizza delivery bike. Which is a very good bike for riding the wall of death because the engine is like really low down because you want things with really low center of gravity. Like everyone was like, oh, you want a sports bike or a motocross bike? And it's like, nah, moped's perfect.
And then so you have to start like at the bottom going in a circle and then you just slowly start working your way up the sides.
Yeah, it's one of those things really. It's a little bit like anything. Like once you get used to it, you can just do it. And I remember I could just start at the bottom and just open the bike up and literally drive straight up and then just go straight round. Wow, I barely needed a quarter of it to actually get on the vertical. You could just go straight onto it. And I did remember thinking, like, I don't even think I needed the curved bit. I think if it was just straight flat down to the floor, I'd be able to drive around, like wedge it in to the corner and then just open it up and then ride up. But we never got to test that theory, because we had the curve. But
I mean, I've seen them in motorcycle shows when they're doing them professionally, but there was no wood or, say, nails hanging out of it. So
no.
This might be a little more of a DIY daredevil.
This was the budget-friendly version.
It was totally budget. I mean, at the time, if you'd have offered me a nice smooth one, I'd have been like, fantastic. Because, I crashed on it once. And I remember sliding down, and I caught what side of my arm or something on a nail or whatever that stuck out. But I remember we replayed the video back and traced where I'd gone on it, and then we looked at it. And if I'd have been about another foot further up, I'd have proper ripped my trousers or skin or whatever on this other thing that was coming out because we'd nailed it together.
Yeah,
like because they were pallets, you'd put nails in and sometimes just get nothing.
Yeah.
And then rather than take that nail out, it just got left in. And of course, as you're riding around and the whole thing's flapping around, all those nails that went into nothing are slowly getting pushed out to the surface.
More
very MythBusters.
More dangerous than it has to be.
Exactly that, yeah. So, stupid.
What was, can you tell that this guy is like our people? Like, he's...
I mean, I get it. I get why Science Channel would have partnered the two of you guys up because it sounds like you have a little bit of a similar mission statement, which is build something and daredevil.
I remember the first thing we did is you had one of those prams or what the little carts for people who don't want to walk.
as you would call it, wouldn't it? Oh no, of course no, a pram. Yeah, not the thing that you put babies in, like the thing that old people
No, not a pram. Okay, so
on.
when you go shopping, the little cart that you sit on for people in a grocery store, but then you put like a motorcycle in or a lawnmower engine in it. What did you put in that?
It had a dirt bike engine in it. It was Larry. In a straight line, it was okay-ish. You could sort of keep control of it. You couldn't go around a corner in it very well. It would just tip over because it basically had the original wheelbase and track of a mobility scooter, as we call them. So yeah, but the craziest thing, because obviously I look back at some of the things I've done now. Obviously I'm a bit older now. I've got kids, so you've got a little bit more to think about, haven't you? And I was like thinking the craziest thing on that wasn't going the speed it did, because it went 80 miles an hour, which is
insane.
That would break all of your speed limits. I don't think you've got any above that, have you? Nor have we actually. But the crazy thing was it was done on the original tyres, which were rated at like 4 to 8 mile an hour. And like I look back on that now and I was like, what were you thinking? Like, how did you think that they were going to cope with 80 mile an hour? But they did. So clearly there was a built-in margin of error with them.
God, I wish I had this chemistry reel. I want to watch this. I had no idea this was happening, and I have to say I'm like mourning the loss of this show. I can't believe it didn't happen.
I don't know what happened with it. I mean, you guys have probably been in the same situation. You've done sizzle reels, you've been pitched stuff and whatever, and then it just disappears off.
Nothing ever comes of it. I remember you wheeled it out, and they're like, you're going to go for a ride. He's going to show you this thing he built, and you're going to take it down this country road. And you're just like, be careful. Like, it goes really fast. Don't kill yourself. Don't try to turn, because if you turn, the whole thing is just going to flip over.
It's always the worrying thing, actually, because for most of the things that I make, it's mostly just me that tests them. So very rarely do I hand anything over to somebody else.
Oh, I'm honored.
On the few occasions that's happened, it does actually terrify me for two reasons. Obviously, I don't want people to get hurt. Also, I don't want them to smash it up because then it's just making me a load of work. But but
very selfless of you.
Oh, very selfless. But the scariest thing I've ever handed over to anybody was the spinning belt of knives. I don't know if you saw that video. It was basically
The spinning belt of knives.
it was like this circular ring bearing thing that you kind of pulled up over your chest where your belt is, and then it had basically a load of carving knives, 8 carving knives hanging off it on a hinge and a little motor. So as they span round, they flared up, and then they would go into like a bit like a ballerina skirt, but of knives and death. And there was this French TV show that wanted to come and do some filming with me, and the French obviously have different insurance to us because they didn't care. They're like, oh yeah, can the presenter have a go on it? And I was like, on the spinning belt of knives. Like, I never did I think this question would be asked. And I was just like, yeah, sure, as long as you accept if he cuts his finger off or anything, it's not my fault. And we was in the bunker.
Why? What was the inspiration? What was the purpose of a spinning belt of knives?
Oh, there's every now and again.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Nowadays, obviously, the YouTube business, I've said this on a couple of recent videos, actually, you nearly have to work from the thumbnail and title backwards now. And spinning belt of knives is never not going to be a viral video, is it? Sort of thing. It ticks all the boxes for me.
Pure genius.
It's dangerous. No one's ever done it before. And also just the vision of having a cucumber or a bit of celery and just lowering it down into this blades that just obliterate anything. I'm like, I want to see that. I want to see that.
God,
so I'm going to build it.
Sounds more like a fever dream than a project.
Oh, it's like something from Saw. Do you know what I mean? It's like Saw
totally.
would have a field day with it. So I handed it over to this presenter and he put it on. And then he started it up, and I just remember looking at it and being like, God, this is horrible from the jump. Because when you're in the middle of it, you sort of got your hands all tucked up so you don't get anything caught in it. And you're just looking down at the shiny knives, which is, it's terrifying. But when you're the other side of it, because if something breaks or falls off it, it's going outwards.
It's going to fling right at you.
So technically being in the middle of it is actually one of the safest places to be. So I was stood there looking at it, and I was just like, I do not like this. I was so like, someone's going to get hurt. And I know how Charlotte feels now because she filmed me doing bits of it sort of thing. And I could see her, she's like proper wincing. And I'm like, it's fine, don't worry about it. But I know how she felt.
Charlotte knew what she was getting into when she hooked up with you.
Oh my God.
Clearly.
What's the video where you started the project and you were like, oh, this ought to be easy. But then it got to a point where you feared for your life.
The 360 swing. The one that Kari was on about, the one where he put the propeller, there was a separate, like a 4th or 5th video to that series where we attached this, what do you call them, paramotor propeller to the end of it. Because I kind of had this idea that if I'm stood on the bottom and the propeller's at the top and you just rev it, it would just, and it would send you round. And it did.
Oh my God.
But at tick over, so when the engine's just idling, it accelerated me. So, because obviously when you're on it, you're quite well balanced. Do you know what I mean? The engine weighed not loads, but enough, half my weight plus whatever propulsion it's getting from the propeller. So it was enough to keep it accelerating. And I remember throttling it. So it took me over, taking my hand off the throttle and it just not slowing down.
Oh, geez.
And I'm just like, oh dear.
Oh, shit.
And luckily enough, I had a kill switch button on the handlebar, which is kind of weird, really, because there are times, like the mobility scooter, the fast one, the first time I ever rode it, I got on it and I was like, I've not fitted any brakes to this, because the original motor was electric and all the braking was done on the electric motor, so there was no brake levers or anything on it for me to look at and go, oh yeah, I need to connect that. So I got on it, I was like, I haven't put any brakes on it. So the fact that I had a kill switch on that thing actually surprised me afterwards that we thought to put one on. And not just start it, put it around there.
God.
So it was starting to accelerate, and I could feel it getting faster because obviously your weight, as you're spinning round, is getting, you're getting heavier and heavier.
Yeah.
And the concentration it took to move my hand along to push this switch was like, really, I just remember thinking this is taking all of my will to do this. And it finally slowed down and I got off it, and it was like, I felt sick because I was getting spun round like mad. And I remember just shaking a little bit And like Rick comes up to me with the camera and I'm laughing and sort of thing, but I remember thinking, I am never doing that again. that could have been Colin getting flung across the neighborhood.
Yeah.
God knows what. So
I mean, so what was holding you? Did you have like a harness holding you onto the swing?
You just hold on to it.
Oh my God, dude, you could have got launched.
Yeah, I could have got ragdolled across the whole housing estate.
You would have been like trebuchet, just fuck.
Yeah, that's the word. That is the word. Trebuchet myself. So,
on we did a 360 swing set with a circus performer that he uses in the circus, and even on that, we had harnesses, and it was completely human powered. There weren't any rockets or motors or propellers on it, and that felt. I was getting nauseous just from that kind of swinging. I can't even imagine the kind of forces you were dealing with.
Yeah, it was an idea that is fantastic, but the reality of it was, yeah. I mean, if it hadn't have sped up during idle, it may have been okay. There was a brake. We did fit a brake to the 360 swing, but it just didn't work very well.
Yeah.
So
I would imagine that much torque, like because the swing. How tall is it? Like how each arm?
It was 5 meters to the axle. So when you were upside down, you were 10 meters in the air, that's high.
Yeah,
it's higher than the house.
Once that thing started spinning, to get that to slow down would have been impossible.
Exactly. And we had like a motorbike disc brake on the axle, which is like what 250, 300 mil. I mean, it was a nice touch, but it wasn't really functional.
Dude, you are insane. Like seriously. Have you ever been working on a video and then your neighbors called the police on you?
The neighbours haven't called the police. I have had the police around here, though. I put a flamethrower on the back of a motorbike and badged it as like a James Bond.
As you do? Right.
And it got in the newspapers, and then somebody had obviously panicked, somebody local, and thought, oh, my God, I live in the same town as me, and they'd obviously rang the police. Police come round, arrested me.
Go check him out.
Yeah, exactly.
Person of interest.
Because you guys are all right. You can own flamethrowers in the US, can't you? You don't. Yeah. Here they're like prohibited weapons. Like only the military.
No,
use them.
They're considered. You have to have a license. You can't just own a flamethrower.
Yeah. Similar-ish thing. So anyway,
and they can't be really big like flamethrowers. Like the altered ones, I think you need like
there's a limit. So anyway, they come round, basically said, have you got a firearms license? I said, no. And then they arrested me. I mean, it was kind of weird.
They arrested you?
Oh, yeah, got arrested. And I got... So while I was in, like, the police car, getting taken back to the police station, I was on my phone, on YouTube, like, privating some of the videos, because I'm like, they better not see that. I'll see that. So some of my very, very first video was actually a water pistol full of petrol, gasoline, with a blowtorch attached to the front of it, gaffer taped to my BMX bike like a flamethrower. So obviously I've just been arrested for a flamethrower, and I thought if they go on the internet, the first video they're going to see is another flamethrower. So I actually deleted that one off the internet because I didn't know whether the police could see, or, can we have Colin's information from Google, which I laugh about now, thinking, no way would they be able to do that. Do you know what I mean? They can't get anything. So not easily anyway. So anyway, so I got arrested. They kind of put me through the system, say, no, only the army and stuff are allowed to have flamethrowers. And then basically they let you out. And then it goes to what's called the CPS, Crown Prosecution Service. They look at the case, decide, whether they're going to take it any further. The police probably put a little note, guy's all right. He does these things on the internet. Don't worry about it. He's not a nutcase, sort of thing. And then the CPS probably...
he's not a nutcase? Is that what you're...
Yeah, that's what you're hoping. That's what you're hoping. But
I don't know if they got that right. You are a bit of a nutcase.
But there's like this 3-week gap where you're like, what's going to happen? Do you know what I mean? Because obviously if it went to court and I actually got done for it, it would have had quite serious consequences, because it would have been like a terrorism thing and stuff like that. I might not have even be able to come to America. When I go to open source and stuff, that's the sort of thing that they would check, if you've had all these things. So anyway, 3 weeks later go by, I go back to the police station. They're all there grinning, just like, if you're going to do this again, Colin, don't stick it in all the newspapers. And I'm like, well, that's kind of my job, isn't it? Sort of thing. That's the whole point of it. And then I said, well, what's happening to the bike? because I wanted it back. Old tight-fisted Colin, I don't want to lose the bike. And they said, "Oh, you've got to go and pick it up from the compound or whatever." So I went round to the compound, and he wheeled the bike back out. Flamethrower's still on it.
Shut up.
And I'm like, "Is this a joke?" And I'm like, "Are you going to rearrest me in a minute? You've just told me that no one is allowed flamethrowers, only the military, and now you're giving me it back." So I was just like, I have no idea what's happening here.
Oh, that's so
sweet.
good.
But it
Got
was
your
all
flamethrower back.
exactly. But it was good though, because it was the catalyst. Because a few years later, like quite a few years later, I was building the Hulkbuster, which was for Disney and eBay, and we wanted to put a flamethrower on that. And I rang the police up and I said, "Look, I've been asked to do this thing. I've got, I've got to put a flamethrower on it. I've been to God knows how many TV sets and stuff where they've got fire chuckers. None of them have got, firearms licenses and stuff. What's the deal? Are you going to come run and arrest me again?" And they sent various people out. At the time, they didn't know what to do. Like one person said, "No, I think it's a flamethrower." The other person was like, "No, it's special effects. Just don't worry about it." And they couldn't decide what to do. So I kind of said, "Well, look, if you can't decide what to do, is this my get out of jail free card? I'll just get on with it." And they kind of just left it at that. And then I made the screw tank. This is going like another 5 or 6 years ahead.
I love those things are so badass. For people that don't know what a screw tank is, it's basically you have like there's two giant screws that the vehicle rides on, and as they're spinning, it's pulling you forward or backward depending on which way you're turning these giant rods, these giant screws. In your video, oh my God, how long did that take to build?
I only about 4 or 5 weeks. Like crazy. I look back at some of the things I've made really fast. I'm like, I must be just getting slower. So because that was a relatively complicated thing to build, and it went together reasonably well. So, but on it, I wanted to go this tank. You've got to put weapons on it, ain't you? So I thought, we'll stick a flamethrower on one side, and on the other side, I made this what was essentially like a potato gun, but it ended up firing apples. But I wanted to make it a bit better, so I made it self-loading, so it was kind of like fully automatic. Put this video out. Guy from the police rings up, doesn't he? "I've just seen your video, Colin, of you firing the apples." And he's like, do you know what power that thing's got? And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, you had it chronographed." And I started laughing. I was like, "Of course I haven't had it chronographed." And I was like, "Well, just, like, what's the limit? And how do they work that out?" And he said, "Oh, it's based on like the weight of the projectile and how hard it hits stuff." And he said, like, the limit's basically like an air rifle, which obviously has a tiny little lead pellet. And I was like, "Well, look, it puts an apple through a piece of 3/4 plywood." Then he starts laughing and he's like, "Oh God, that is definitely over the limit." So, but then that basically was the catalyst for me getting special. So I've got all the firearms tickets and stuff now, so I can have flamethrowers. I can make guns and all sorts of things because of that video. Because they were like, "Look, we need to sort this out because if we get anybody else ringing us, we need to cover ourselves. You need to be covered." So they've made me all these funny firearms things now. But it's basically, So
I'm glad to see that you've got some responsibility. You've become a responsible citizen.
I've not changed. I've just got a bit of pay for now. I mean, nothing's changed.
And congratulations, you are now part of our zombie apocalyptic team.
Yeah,
You're
totally.
always choosing the people that if we are close to where they are, who are we going to spin the zombie apocalypse with? You are number 1 on my UK list.
Yep.
Thank you. And I've got an underground bunker, which I don't think the zombies can get in. So, even if you're not near here, you want to head in this direction.
Yeah, but when you're down there, then you're trapped. So if they can get in, you're just lunch meat.
Well, I mean, you could apply that method to any room in the world. That's not a defense, Kari.
That's a good point. You were talking about the spinning belt of knives. We had a machine on MythBusters that all of us were like, okay, this is a terrible machine. It's so dangerous. And it was a 360 swinging sword machine. And we had what myth was this solving, by the way? This was can you cut a sword you see in these samurai sword movies, the two samurais the swords would come together and one would snap the other one, right?
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, we need to have this whipping, spinning samurai sword hit another samurai sword. And it was just like this thing swung so fast and just, it was so terrifying. And then to put a sword into it, it was just like, you just took it to another level of danger.
Because it broke swords, and then there are knives flying through the air at high velocity. Because the thing, when it would whip around, it made this noise. It was like,
yeah, that was what I was about to say. It's the noise that things like that make, which I think is the most terrifying, because you're like, it's like a weird whistly air. And then of course, you know, when metal hits anything, you get the whole shing sort of thing, like your Wolverine's claws sort of thing, and it does put a sense of terror down you. And obviously, when it's moving fast, you kind of look at it and think, well, if this thing flies apart, whereas, you know, that stuff's going to come off that so fast, you're not going to have time to react. You either get hit or you don't.
Yeah.
So you just got to hope you don't get hit.
Well, at least with our 360 swing set, we learned early when Tori was just trying to like swing on a children's swing set, like he got to a point where, you know, it kind of went slack and he fell down. So in the final experiment for our 360 swing set, we had a crash test dummy little girl. Obviously, we're not going to use a real little girl. And we strapped her on with a bunch of rockets to see if she would spin around the swing set, you know. And, you know, we use crash test dummies. You tend to be the crash test dummy.
We haven't got any of them here. So.
Yeah. You're the walking, living crash test dummy. Dude, thank you. Oh my God. It's so good to see you again. So good to catch up. Thank you for coming on.
It's my pleasure. So
and you guys
to talk about this.
I know. And it's like, I never knew, like, I don't know, the stuff you do. It's so outrageous, and just be careful.
Thank you, Colin. It was so nice to meet you.
Yeah, dude. It's so good to see you, and go check out his channel. I mean, the stuff you thought we did crazy things on MythBusters, this guy takes it to a whole nother level.
Colin, for everybody out there who's looking for you, where do they find you on the socials, and what is your YouTube channel name?
Just type my name in, Colin Furze, Furze. Like I said, I've been on these platforms for donkey's years, and every platform I could join, I just put my own name in and it was available. That's how long I've been on this thing, so that I could have my name.
MythFits, did you guys know about Colin before? If you didn't, I know you are all following him now. Because
is he nuts?
He's awesome, right?
Oh my God, is he crazy? Like, I love that guy so much. He's just this. I mean, now you can see why he and I got along so well. I mean, it's just like we were so. He's so much like us in the family of MythBusters, where it's just like creating crazy inventions, creating crazy machines, and testing them himself to the point where it could potentially kill him.
I think I'm going to be binge watching all of his videos now, because I just started getting into them. And so, like, you guys out there, if you're watching these too, I would love to have a conversation about your favorites and stuff on, we've got a Discord channel that we could make like a hashtag or something, because it's so fun seeing all the weird stuff he does.
Yeah. Go check out his stuff. I mean, oh, I love that guy.
Well, Tori.
All right,
it's
Kari.
Time again. You ready for a fan question?
I certainly am.
This one, are you ready?
Yes.
It is from Michael. It said, "Hello, Kari and Tori. I love your podcast. It's always fun listening to your insight and memories from your careers. The question is 2 parts. 1, did you two know each other before the show? And 2, does it seem strange to still have each other so deeply in your lives all these years later?"
Ah, that's a good question.
So our origin story, I guess, is where we should start.
No, we did not know each other before MythBusters. First time I met you was my first day. You had actually worked on like a couple of episodes before I got there. And then they decided to do the teams, you and I, Scotty and Christine. And so that was the first day on set is the first day that I met you.
Yeah, because I was an intern for Jamie. And I didn't expect to be on MythBusters, but they started filming on my first day as an intern. They started filming out of the shop. So it was very strange when they decided that Jamie and Adam weren't working fast enough and they needed background builders. And, you know, Tori was going to be a background builder. And I actually remember, I have a very visual memory because I remember almost in snapshots or videos. I think I watched a lot of TV growing up. And I have such a memory of seeing you for the first time pushing like your toolbox
Oh yeah.
in the parking lot at
Yeah.
M5.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember meeting you, and what did you say? You said, "Are you? Oh yeah, I guess. Are you going to be my right hand or something like that?" Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then I very awkwardly was like, "Well, I could be your left too." Like
Yeah.
something really,
Awkward.
really.
Yeah, awkwardly.
It was
You
so
knew exactly
awkward.
what you were doing, Kari. Come on.
I did not. I was like kind of nervous because, first of all, not expecting to be on camera even at all. Like the background building thing was it was weird. And I also I didn't have the skill set, I thought, to be a background builder because I had really told everybody I could do a lot more than I knew how to do. I was
fake it till you make it,
till I
folks.
make it. Yeah,
MythFits,
I was.
You learned some valuable lesson here. Fake it till you make it.
And you were showing up with this extensive toolbox, and they had told me like the other builders were actual builders. Like you're coming from ILM, that you're extremely experienced. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to be his assistant, and maybe I will learn more than what my dad taught me in the garage because we didn't have a table saw or anything like that in our garage. Like we fixed stuff around the house, but and did some woodworking. But the stuff that I was going to do with you seemed insane.
Yeah, that was a weird learning curve. And I remember the first day getting there and wheeling in my toolbox and asking Adam, like, where should I set up? And he's like, just set up in the corner of the shop over there. Figure we're going to do this for a year. This show will probably last for at least a year. And I was like, okay. And then 12 years later.
I mean, every
crazy.
year I thought was going to be our last year. And I never felt permanent. Like I didn't buy a toolbox and all of the fixins until we had gotten all the way to M7. Like it was around the time that Grant was joining the show. Like I didn't have, I remember I was talking to one of my friends who's a little bit more woohoo than I am. And she's like, no, if you got to feng shui your space, you got to make it yours. And so she like painted me some weird stuff that I was supposed to put in my toolbox. And she's like, no, you're going to need a yellow toolbox and put it in this corner of the shop. And I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Like, I'll find my ownership.
Yeah. And then to answer the second part of the question, is it weird that we are still like so involved in each other's lives? Yes. I mean, I feel like you're one of the only people, because we've done so many shows together now. There were so many seasons of MythBusters and then so many other shows after MythBusters that it's like there's very few people that know exactly what I went through. Like, it's like trying to explain people, we used to do this, and they're just like, what? That doesn't, it doesn't resonate. Where if I tell you something, oh my God, remember when we did that crazy thing in the Bahamas, like swimming with sharks? There's crazy things that we've done on the show that only the people from the show share that kind of experience.
Yeah, I mean, you're the one person I will call when there's something that I can't explain to my family, or I almost said normal people. But like I call you for very specific things because it's just like nobody can relate to the weird shared experience that we've had.
Yeah,
except for you and like a handful of people that have been a long way. Like last night I was having dinner with Linda Volkovich, the old producer for MythBusters, and I was like, oh, we've got an episode coming up, and I'm talking about it, and like she gets it, like and we were just kind of waxing poetic about the old days and how both of us need to come visit you very soon.
Well, thank you for that question, and you guys keep sending them in. We love this because it gives us a chance to find out what you guys want to know. And also, if you guys want to leave in the comment future shows that you want to hear us talk about, we would love your suggestions.
And if you're a part of Band of MythFits, you can send us your video question and be on the podcast itself. That's mythfitspodcast.com. You want to join the Band of MythFits. And if you're not already, please come join us. It's fun over here. So like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And thank you for being on this weird journey with us. Stay weird, MythFits.